and just think outside the box and get the views.
Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time.
The best, the purest, the most beautiful sport in the world when the best fight the best.
I mean, I think he should go down and win a title at 160 because he won at 47, 40, 54, 68. Go get 60 and you got to close it off. That's fine.
Us fighters who get in the ring and risk our lives, you know, there's enough pie for everyone to pass around.
Oscar De La Hoya believes that when a boxer starts earning 7 or 8 figures late in his career, he's bound to make mistakes. After defeating Canelo Alvarez to cement his legacy, Terence Crawford may now face that same challenge. According to De La Hoya, Crawford's massive success could create new problems. He warned that a potential fight with Jermell Charlo is more than just a tough matchup, it's a dangerous one. While it's easy to criticize after the fact, De La Hoya was among the few who confidently predicted that Crawford would beat Canelo.
Which I feel Crawford will win.
Yeah. Okay.
But it'll be a great fight.
In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Oscar De La Hoya said the result didn't surprise him at all. He not only predicted the winner, but also understood exactly why Crawford would win, days before the fight even began.
I've always been impressed with Terence. Yeah. I was not surprised at all. I mean, I called it.
De La Hoya was confident in his prediction when Canelo's downfall began because he understood exactly what was wrong. That same insight now drives his advice to Crawford. His prediction wasn't a lucky guess. Canelo was outclassed by a fighter who exploited his weaknesses with surgical precision. De La Hoya explained that Canelo's biggest flaw wasn't his strength or chin, but his lack of movement. He said Canelo's feet are stuck to the canvas, making him an easy target for a technical boxer like Crawford.
Canelo, I promoted him. I know exactly what he cannot handle and what he can handle, where he looks great and where he doesn't. And Crawford was the perfect opponent or fighter to derail the train. That was
on Clapback Thursday. De La Hoya reiterated that Crawford completely outclassed Canelo, making him look foolish in the ring. He also dismissed any excuses about age, pointing out that Crawford is actually older than Canelo and still dominated him.
Horny!
Yeah, baby.
To tell you I told you so.
I told you!
I predicted the Canelo-Crawford fight like a goddamn fortune teller.
You're the Oracle?
Canelo's feet were cemented on the canvas as he was hitting air. What the f was that? Props to Crawford.
Thank you.
He came up 3 weight classes and fought a beautiful fight.
Good job.
What a great performance.
Did you get what you was looking for?
Like taking...
De La Hoya explained that the real danger for Crawford isn't a punch, a right hook, or even a weight class. It's the trap that comes with success. When asked by Ariel Helwani if Crawford might retire as champion, De La Hoya said no, suggesting that after earning 7 or 8 figures, Crawford might look for new challenges. He warned that big paydays late in a boxer's career often lead to mistakes. The hunger for titles fades, replaced by comfort and satisfaction with wealth. The problem isn't a lack of training. It's in the choices of when, why, and who to fight. Money, he said, changes everything.
Canelo made him look silly. And before you start with your shit about Canelo being old, just know that Crawford is older.
I'm too old.
That's not an excuse here. Look, I promoted Canelo's entire career.
Put some respect on it.
And it was a huge fluff.
How do you like them, man?
The only real fighters he's faced were Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford.
De La Hoya's advice is simple. Recognize when your motivation shifts from chasing greatness to chasing money, because that's when you become vulnerable. He warned that this is exactly the stage Terence Crawford is in now. With fame, massive paydays, and non-stop offers, it's easy to feel untouchable. But De La Hoya cautioned that a fight with Jermell Charlo could be Crawford's biggest mistake. Charlo is more dangerous than Canelo, strong, motivated, and eager to redeem himself after his loss. At 154 pounds, he's not to be taken lightly. De La Hoya called Charlo the definition of a trap fight, where champion overlooks a hungry, high-risk opponent, treating him like just another paycheck.
Silence a lot of doubters, not all of them, but it'll silence a lot of doubters, and he can move on to the next challenge. And then that next challenge is possibly a tough...
Could be even more dangerous. The smaller Charlo has speed and fights harder and, he's in your face, it's a great payday for him. And he's obviously, he took that into consideration when making the decision. It's going to be a tough task. I mean, 2 weight divisions is historical if he wins, and 2 weight divisions if he loses, he has the perfect excuse.
Crawford now faces more than just Charlo's skill. He must fight the temptation to take things lightly after making his last victory look easy. But beyond confidence lies a serious risk to his health. Jermell Charlo has already experienced the power of a true super middleweight. After his loss to Canelo, Charlo admitted that Canelo was a beast who fully exploited his mistakes. He also reflected that part of his struggle came from moving up in weight too quickly, saying he wished he had added more size and strength before the fight.
At maybe retirement. Do you think he retires? No,
Not at all.
Now he's making the big bucks, right?
Well, now he has a taste of 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever it might be. Once you get a taste of that, towards the end of your career, you're going to make
Charlo's greatest weapon now is the experience he gained from facing real power at 168 pounds. He knows exactly what that level feels like. Crawford, who began his career at just 135 pounds, may have handled Canelo, but Charlo has already adapted to that strength. When Charlo spoke about Canelo's power, it was a clear warning to Crawford. You haven't yet learned how to manage that kind of force. That experience grounded Charlo, making him far more dangerous in his next fight. De La Hoya was furious about the Canelo-Charlo matchup, saying Charlo only showed up for the paycheck and refused to take real risks.
Super boring fight. I mean, he just showed up for a paycheck. Canelo, obviously, like I said, on quicksand, throwing bombs. He won easy. But anyway, look, if we want boxing to survive, if we want boxing to thrive, we need super fights. Like, all the time. Fighters must fight each other. We have to come together. Promoters, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, Bob Arum, whoever's out there, let's come together. I'm calling you out. Let's come together. Let's meet the power of the minds and come up with something, because boxing can die. I'm calling you all out.
But that same criticism explains why Charlo is now more dangerous than ever. He's already cashed the big check and felt the sting of public disappointment. The Charlo who steps in against Crawford won't be the same man who fought Canelo. He'll be desperate for redemption, with nothing to lose and everything to prove. That makes him a real threat. Crawford exploited Canelo's predictability and composure, but motivated, unpredictable Charlo fighting for his career is a completely different challenge. It's simple. Never underestimate a fighter who's been humiliated in front of the world and has learned from it.
I'm not going nowhere and, just jump right into it. And, Canelo's a motherfucking beast, you know what I'm saying? He'll ox. Maybe I felt that more because of the fact that, this is my first time at that weight division. I wish I could have gained a little bit more weight in between, from the weigh-in to that time, but I can't control my body and I can't, but like God had this already written. And, I'm glad that I was in there with, to put on the performance for Showtime pay-per-view.
In your perspective, why don't you think he could have stopped Charlo?
No, he could have stopped Charlo. He should have. I mean, first of all, you had a fighter who was there just for the payday, literally. I mean, he's in the biggest stage of his life. Go out there and take some risks. Fight hard. People paid their money. People buy it on pay-per-view. Fight hard. Because when you fight hard, you don't lose anything. When it's a great fight.
When it comes to Canelo and Crawford, there's an alternative narrative spreading online, fueled by outlets like Boxing Ego. It claims Crawford's resume is built on damaged opponents. Ricky Burns past his prime, a smaller Gamboa moving up in weight, a leg-injured Jose Benavidez, a nearly blind Kell Brook, and an Errol Spence recovering from a car crash and eye surgery. Some even argue that the Canelo-Crawford beat was slower and no longer in his prime. By that logic, Charlo, healthy, strong, and naturally bigger, could be the first truly elite opponent Crawford faces at full capacity. But that damaged goods argument doesn't hold up. The real factor that separates Crawford is his fight IQ. As fans on Reddit have pointed out, Canelo has always struggled against high IQ fighters like Mayweather, Bivol, and now Crawford. Crawford doesn't just beat opponents physically. He dismantles them mentally. His intelligence in the ring is his deadliest weapon, and he'll need it again against a bigger, stronger, and hungrier Charlo. De La Hoya called the Canelo Charlo fight dull, saying both fighters barely threw a punch.
This fight, with anybody say that's a 50-50 fight. Canelo got good inside game, but he gonna have to get past Charlo long arms. And Charlo, he can use his reach good. He's strong. He got a good jab. It's a toss up with me.
That's a good one. Charlo got that punching power. I'm just gonna say that.
I think Charlo's gonna take it. The reason why I say that is because he's just on another.
Crawford's team would make a serious mistake if they watched Charlo's performance against Canelo and assumed he's a dull fighter. Charlo fought cautiously that night because of the power, the stage, and the jump in weight. It intimidated him, but he won't feel that same fear against Crawford, whom he sees as a smaller, more familiar opponent. That passive performance was an exception, not who Charlo truly is. As De La Hoya pointed out, Crawford would be facing the real Jermell Charlo, the former undisputed champion, not the shell-shocked version who fought for a paycheck. Underestimating that could be disastrous. And De La Hoya's warning about money is only part of the story. The real chaos is happening outside the ring, where promoter rivalries, lawsuits, and billion-dollar power plays are creating a dangerous, unpredictable environment that's already spilling into the fights themselves.
I think it's a great fight. I just think that the press conferences were freaking lame.
Why?
Just because it was all staged. I mean, come on, guys. Look, if you want to see Canelo pissed off, take a look at my press conference. With Munguia and Canelo. That's Canelo pissed off.
Why waste my time with this question?
Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick, and after that we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport #1 in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
De La Hoya made his stance clear, calling the undercard for the Canelo Crawford fight complete waste of money for the promoters. He even went as far as saying the matchmakers responsible for putting it together should be fired.
Social media the other day, you're kind of fired up about the Canelo fight. Why didn't you like that fight?
Because it was boring.
What?
I mean, when a fighter throws one punch, when two fighters throw one punch in one round, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, I'm a fighter who has been in there, in the line of fire, throwing 100 punches around. Like, the fans want to be entertained. So that was my critique, is coming from a fighter, coming from a world champion.
De La Hoya warned that the ongoing feuds and rivalries between promoters are ruining undercards and dragging the sport down. He also expressed sadness over Showtime's exit from boxing, saying it's a loss for the sport but could open the door to new opportunities for others.
I just, look, the fact that a new entity is coming into boxing and already wants to change a bill that has been in place for decades that protects fighters, to me, is shady. That's the bottom line. Think about it. It's shady. The first thing you want to do is change the law, change the rule, the Muhammad Ali Act, which protects the fighters. I instantly think about what they did with the UFC. I instantly think about the UFC signing hundreds, if not thousands of fighters, and they don't even see the light of day. There's total transparency with the bill. You're obligated as a promoter to disclose, everything that might be in the pot. The fighters call it the pot. And you're obligated to disclose, the financial status of your event, of the fighter's event. If you're a main event fighter, a championship fighter, you have every right to look at the books. And with this amendment,
with TKO entering the scene, Showtime exiting, and promoters locked in lawsuits, the boxing world is in chaos. There's no clear leadership or control anymore.
I thought, I was proud that boxing was on Netflix, just being a purist of the sport. You feel proud. I was not happy with the matchups. I mean, what I saw the week of the Canelo fight, they tried doing some contender boxing stuff. You're having precious contenders, right? Who I know can become world champions 3, 4, 5 years down the road. They're getting eliminated and beat. And you're never gonna hear from them again. That's not fair to the fighter. Now, if that's fair business to them, more power to them. Let them build whatever league they're trying to build. It's okay. Boxing here is safe with me and Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, the serious guys in the sport. The guys who respect the history and the honor that comes with it. You have a global platform, Netflix, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Every fight that a new audience is gonna watch should have been a known name, should have been champion versus champion. The matchup should have been better. I thought it was a slow night, completely a slow night. It was still great for boxing because it's out there and people are watching all over the world, but...
For a boxer like Crawford, this chaos puts his 8-figure paydays at risk. He may be forced to accept risky fights like Charlo just to secure a paycheck instead of waiting for the perfect matchup. The turmoil behind the scenes has become a direct obstacle to his career.
Bob Arum yesterday. Is there anything you could share about that meeting, what you guys have going during the press conference?
Yeah, there's really no details I can mention, but let's just say that some really big fights are going to happen very soon. And that's why I called out all promoters like Eddie Hearn, like Al Heyman, who's probably going to be impossible to talk to because nobody ever sees him. But we want to bring promoters together to work together and just create and the biggest fights possible for the fans. That's all I want to do, and that's what boxing deserves.
Is Charlo even the right opponent for Crawford? De La Hoya doesn't think so. He warned that Crawford needs to watch out for the sharks circling beneath him. Time, he said, is Crawford's biggest enemy now. Fighters like Jaron Boots, Ennis, and Virgil Ortiz are young, hungry, and closing in fast. At 38, Crawford can't afford to fight everyone. He has to choose wisely before the next generation takes over.
I think that without that rule there, without that clause there, or wiping out the Muhammad Ali Act, the fighter is vulnerable. The fans are not gonna watch real boxing. And real boxing is the best talent that's developed fighting the very best talent. They're never gonna see that because they're gonna eliminate each other in their first fight, second fight, and guess what? If you don't win the second fight, you're gonna be shelved, just like the UFC.
Still, De La Hoya insists that if Crawford truly wants to be remembered as one of the greats, he has to face those young challengers, even if it means risking his undefeated record. The real question is whether Crawford is willing to sacrifice everything, including that perfect zero, to secure his legacy as one of boxing's all-time greats.